What's going on, guys? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I first off want to say, hey, man, I'm just grateful in 2025 that I get to do this for a living. I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine, and she was saying something to the effect of like, the worries that she had in her life, and her life is pretty great. Like this girl's making in excess of $50,000 a month. She's got a great career. She's really pretty. She's smart. And I have some guy friends, the same kind of situation. They're dealing with like this stress of, I don't know what I'm going to do, pay taxes or whatever. But these guys are like mega rich. They got a wife that loves them, family that loves them. And there's this like level of uncertainty that they bring into their life. And you guys might have that too. You might be living your life right now thinking, hey man, I got 3 square meals that I get to eat every day. You might be thinking, I got a roof over my head. I get air conditioning whenever I want. If I need to go somewhere, I can either get in my car, go anywhere I want, buy a cheap plane ticket. I can call an Uber. I can have food just show up at my door. Sometimes you lose that feeling. So what is that? Why is it that you have this anxiety when we have the easiest lives for the most part? Even someone who's homeless right now has it better than somebody who lived in the 17th century. Why is it that we lose this perspective? And the reason why, you guessed it, the main thing I do these videos on, gratitude, man. You just don't have gratitude for your situation. So one of the things I'm very grateful for, and there's a lot of them, I'm going to go over several of them, is that I pretty much know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, in one form or another. No matter, a lot of bad things can happen, good things can happen. It might not even be the same subject matter, but I'm going to hopefully be at some level an inspiration and a coach to some people and try to build communities like the one that I have now to be able to help people in general, not just men, not just in the dating space or social circle or whatever, but in different spaces. I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. So that's something amazing to be grateful for. So I'm going to tell you guys a couple of stories about some other things that happened to me in my life that I'm grateful for. The point of this video is that I want you to be grateful for the bad things. I want you to be grateful for the pain. It's very easy to be grateful for the fact that you're born into a family that loves you. It's very easy, and by the way, it's easy to be grateful, and yet still most of us aren't grateful for it. It's very easy to be grateful for the fact that you have a bunch of people in your life that care about you. It's very easy to be grateful if you're born into a trust fund, right? It's very easy to be grateful if you're born what I consider to be the greatest country in the world. I'm back here in Texas for for Thanksgiving with my family. I feel like, and yes, I do consider Texas its own country because it is. So I'm grateful. You can be grateful for all those things, but the question you got to ask yourself is, when can you be grateful when it's not pleasant, when it's not fun? So I'm going to give you 3 examples, maybe 4 examples of things that were very painful for me that I look back and I'm very grateful for. And what I want you to do while watching this video is I want you to, and this is going to come out sometime after Thanksgiving. I want you to consider, okay, what are the things that happened to me that shaped the way that I am? And then in the moment when I was going through that thing, it sucked, but I look back on it now and I'm like, holy crap, man, that was so helpful. That like really changed my life. So I'm going to give you the first example. This one's not that serious, but it would have been serious had things gone another way. And so this was back when I was a DJ at a strip club. This would have been probably 2001, 2002. And there was the prettiest girl who worked nighttime at the strip club. And for those of you guys who don't know, 25 years ago, strip clubs had way prettier girls than they do now. No offense to you ladies who are dancing right now, but there was no OnlyFans back then. There was no social media. You couldn't be an influencer. There was none of that. So if you were a really pretty girl and you didn't want to be a cocktail server, or you couldn't make it as a model, or you didn't want to be a model, or you just wanted quick money, the strip clubs were packed back then. If you ask somebody about like the late 90s when the dot-com bubble was happening, I mean, strip clubs had like it was crazy. It was a very, very different time. So I'm working day shift at this place called Expose on Congress Avenue in Dallas, Texas. Oh, I'm sorry, in Austin, Texas. And any of you guys who watch that show, The Pickup Artist, the VH1 Pickup Artist show with Mystery, I believe it was the second to last episode of season 1, they go into that strip club in Austin. That's the strip club that I used to work at, Expose. Anyway, so I'm working there, day shift, and the prettiest girl who works night shift, everyone knew who she was. And by the way, every strip club had a girl like this. Like, she was just hotter than everyone else. And the reason why she worked there was because it was easier for her, or the owner was in love with her, or the managers gave her the best shifts or whatever. And her name was Joy. And Joy was like, imagine if you took like Jenna Jameson and Pamela Anderson and took their DNA and put it together and they had a child. That's what Joy looked like. She was perfect. Now, it's 25 years ago. And I was 23 years old, so maybe my brain is misremembering this, but I definitely know she was the hottest girl at this club. But yeah, that's in my mind, that's how I remember her. Anyway, Joy was really sweet to me. She would come out, and because Joy had a kid, Joy would come sometimes work the day shift. Usually girls at Hot don't work day shift, but she would sometimes, because it was easier for her, she would come out and work the day shift. And Joy would come out and she would do this thing where she would like, she would almost like gaslight me. She would sit on my lap and put her heels on, and she would like flirt with me the entire time. And of course, like, I'm 22 years old. This is by far the hottest woman I've ever seen in my life. She's sitting on my lap. She's telling me how handsome I am. She's all this kind of stuff. And one of the things that Joy tells me is that she's having trouble with her husband, you know, duh. And then the other thing she tells me is that there's this other daytime DJ, his name is Ryan, and she's like, Michael, I love working with you because that other DJ, Ryan, he's arrogant. He's an I don't like working with him. Like, he's rude. A lot of the girls don't like him. I don't like that dude. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, of course I'm not like that. Let me make you a mixtape of all your favorite songs. Let me see how I can help you. Let me see how I can ingratiate myself with you, Joy, because you're like a perfect 10. And I end up doing all that. I don't see Joy for like several months. Joy comes back like 2 or 3 months later, and she comes in and she's still like super sweet, super nice to me. And I go, hey Joy, what's been going on with you? And she goes, well, I finally left my husband. And I was like, and of course in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is it. This is the shot. This is what I've been waiting for. I finally got the chance to get with Joy, man. The girl who looks like Pamela Anderson. I'm finally gonna get with her. And I was you left your husband? Like, what have you been doing? Like, what's been going on? I goes, I just moved in with Ryan. Wait, what? The other DJ that you said was an ass? You moved in with him? So yeah, me and Ryan, we've been together for a while. I think I'm in love with him. I moved in, my daughters moved in with him. And I'm just like, wait, what? You came in here into my DJ booth and you would complain to me about this other dude, how much of an ass he was. And to be fair, like, all the other girls complained about this dude, but then like he ended up hooking up with a bunch of them and then ended up like getting with this one girl, Joy. And I just remember thinking, holy shit, man, like, is this real? This was not the first red pill moment I had. The first one was actually seeing a girl come to work on a regular basis. She got beat up by her boyfriend and everyone was like, yo, you need to leave this guy. And she's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to leave him. And then a month later, she comes back and she has another black eye. That was actually my first red pill moment. This was another one. And I remember thinking about like, yo, I look back on that moment 25 years later about that experience with Joy. And I started thinking, yo, what if the opposite had happened? You ever think about this? This is the experiment I want you to do. This is the main reason I made this video. I want you to think about some of the worst things that happened to you that shaped how you are. And then think what would happen if that had not happened? If the opposite had happened. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. What if Joy had gone out with me? And then I'm sitting there raising this, like I'm working in a strip club. I never end up joining the military, that's for sure. I end up working in a strip club probably for the next 20 years. I ended up like raising this woman, her and her kid. They live with me. I live in Austin, Texas for the rest of my life. Like, my life is so different. And also, I never get red pills. So Joy she gets tired of me, just like she got tired of her husband, and she goes on to the next guy who like stimulates her. That's the life that would have been there for me had she actually said yes to me instead of no to me. Do you realize how much worse, for some of you, maybe you don't think that's worse, but how much worse my life would have been had she actually done the thing that I wanted. Eckhart Tolle has one of my favorite sayings. He said, the second worst thing in the world is to not get what you want, and the worst thing in the world is to get what you want. And it's true. Like, if you ever see people who get addicted to poker, you know why they get addicted to poker? It's that first hand they play, and they end up winning. They end up like beginner's luck. They end up winning a couple of games of poker. Same thing with like a slot machine. You're far more likely to become addicted if your initial stimulus is you winning. So that was the first one. The situation with Joy. And I've told you guys the story about that one girl, Sid, who was, she drugged herself at some nightclub, and I took her to the hospital and waited for her. And then I found out that my buddy had just like had sex with her. I told you, there's a bunch of stories. That one girl, she friend zoned me, and she shows up to my bar, and she's got another guy with her, and ends up getting her pregnant. All these things happen, this like formation. All these things happened probably between 1999 and 2004. Like a lot of this stuff happened, which is ironic because that's also the time that like the So Suave forums are coming out. Rollo's writing the first articles that become his original books. It's around the same time that I'm having this like transition where I'm starting to notice things are different. And this is like the first time that you can share some of these ideas online. Anyway, so I digress. So now here I am. Let's go a couple years later. Let's talk about the next thing that happened, which is this is one of the, I'm not going to say it's the worst thing in the world. If you guys are in the military, especially if you're in like the Marine Corps, you know, you guys have SEER school. We have SEER school in the Air Force. It's not as physically demanding as it is in the other services, but it's hard as shit because the psychological torture, enhanced interrogations that they do to you when you go to military survival school, they're actually a little bit more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, devious when you go to Air Force survival school. In fact, one of the things they do in SEER school for us is you're taught to snitch on your classmates. So if there's a guy who's in your class and you know some secret about him, his wife cheated on him or whatever, or some pictures on his Facebook or whatever, you're told to tell the instructors to snitch on them. And so that's what they did to me. So some of my classmates knew that I used to work at a strip club, and just so you guys know, I worked at a strip club from 2000 to 2004, and I enlisted into the U.S. Air Force in 2004, and then I got out in 2011. So this is SEER School 2005 in Spokane, Washington. And so now, while I'm there, all of a sudden, the guy, after pulling me out of this box, I had like stayed in this box with my knees up to my neck, and I don't remember. I think they put insects in there or something. It was, and they're playing like sounds of babies screaming and squealing, so you can't sleep, and it smells like in there. They pull you out of the box, they punch you, they hit you a couple of times, they put you in this chair, and then the guy, he starts talking to you, he's like really nice to you, he's really sweet, he's, you know, nothing too devious, and then all of a sudden he opens up this book, and there's all these pictures of me from my social media, like somebody had snitched on me on my team. And I remember that, I remember getting slapped around, I remember them putting us out and like having to sleep. So the first 7 days you're out in survival, like you're surviving out in the woods, like you have to eat ants and you have to kill it, you have to skin a rabbit, all that kind of stuff. And then the last 4 days you're in a, I can't give away two things, but you're in a fun torture situation. And they leave you there for a long time. You deep down, you know it's gonna end, but like it doesn't feel like it's gonna end. Anyway, during survival school, that was the first time I had to, you know, march with a 70-pound rucksack, because I was the biggest guy in my unit. I had to march with a 70-pound rucksack for, you know, 10 kilometers a day, 10 clicks a day. And for some of you guys, that's probably nothing. But for some of you guys, if you've never done it before, I was so angry. I couldn't believe this. There was points where I was like, yo, man, if I had to go back in time and I knew that this is what I had to do when I joined the Air Force, I would have never joined the Air Force. And specifically the reason why I had this specific course was because I was going to be a navigator and I had a top secret government clearance, and we had a nuclear tasking with the KC-135. So I didn't just get beatings, I got advanced beatings. That's what they called it. So now you consider this whole situation where it's like, I'm sitting there, get my ass whooped. I haven't really eaten food in several days, like pretty dehydrated. And I remember how the whole thing ends, and I'm not going to give it away. You probably can look it up on YouTube or whatever. People have been snitching on this course forever, but they try to switch it up on you. I remember at the very end, when I was done, my whole perspective on life had changed. 17 days of survival school, my perspective on life had changed, because what happened in that situation was, no matter what physical ailment I had from that point forward, it wasn't worse than not eating, not drinking, not sleeping, not being able to take a shit, living outside, having to skin animals, eat ants, eat worms, you know what I'm saying? Having people like sleeping inside of a box with squealing loud noises. You know how some people lose their shit whenever they have to wait at the DMV? Well, it's like this. It's like the DMV didn't bother me anymore. If you ever seen like the guys who've been in the military, or maybe they've been in jail and they got the 1,000-yard stare and they have no problem just like sitting in a room by themselves, quiet and alone. That's where this comes from. It's like nothing. After survival school, there was no like physical ailment that bothered me. The other day, the Cowboys and Raiders were playing at Allegiant Stadium, and I just walked to the game. Like I just walked like several miles. I didn't give a shit. I was just like, my friends were like, what are you talking about? Just catch an Uber. And I was like, no, I'm just going to walk. Like little unpleasantries. If you ever meet a guy who's a Marine, he's like this too. He has no problem generally sleeping on the ground, eating leftovers, like, because they're just so grateful. When you're in the military, they take so much of the stimulus away from you. And they just make you so grateful for like these small wins that like you have no problem with gratitude afterwards, right? So that's one of the other things I look at. I look at like, okay, the gifts that I got from being in, on three different occasions, I was in an airplane that was on fire. When I say on fire, I mean like in the cockpit, there was one of the computers that caught on fire. One time the APU had caught on fire in the back of a KC-135, but we were on the ground. We were about to take off and the APU blew up. And then there was another time where there was a fire like mid aircraft. But like in those situations, I remember afterwards, people telling me about like stressful situations in their life. And I'm like, yo, man, I was 28,000 feet over Iraq. Cockpit caught on fire and I was like smelling smoke and the plane dropped 200 feet. It just puts things into perspective to where now I look back and I'm like, yo, if I had never had that experience, what would my life be like? Oh, I would be so neurotic. I would care so much about what people thought about me. When I got out of the military, I gave so little of a shit about what people thought about me that I just seriously, like the level of greatness, the level of like freedom I feel now, because I don't really care that if you don't like my studies on mate choice copying, you don't like the fact that I post stuff on evolutionary psychology, you don't like the fact that I host Access, but whatever, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, it's just so great. It's so fulfilling not having that burden of caring about what so many people think about me. And so when you've dealt with that, and by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's a lot of guys who are really successful in this space who like went to jail for a while, right? I mean, there's tons of them, right? Ryan Stewman, there's a bunch of guys that had done that before, right? And then you get to know their story and you find out that, hey, being in there kind of changed their attitude and their mindset, and now they're just only about focus. So that's the other thing. That was like the second story. The third story is the big one. I've talked to you guys about this several times, and that is, in 2006, in May of 2006, my dad was walking around the east side of White Rock Lake, and he was run over by a drunk driver named Astrid Carlson. And my dad was 64. Astrid Carlson, she was also 64. I believe she was Swedish or Polish. I believe she was Swedish, Swedish national. And she had just gotten out of jail 11 hours earlier for a drunk driving charge. And I remember at her sentencing, at her trial, the what is it called? The pro bono prosecutor, the defense attorney, came to me and apologized to me. And he was like, I didn't realize this was going to happen when I got, Astrid out of jail, and I feel horrible getting her out of jail, and I just want to apologize to you and your family. And I'm like, hey, and I literally looked at him. I said, hey, man, the Constitution says everybody has a right to a defense. So I just want to let you know I don't blame you at all. I was in my dress blues, and I was at her sentencing. It was the first time I'd ever been in the same room with this woman who killed my dad. And I'm sitting up there in the witness stand, and I'm looking over at her, and I'll never forget what I said. And I didn't plan this out. It just came natural to me. I said, listen, ma'am, I know that you lost your husband and that you have a problem with drinking. And I hope that you get the help that you need that helps you with your problem with drinking and the deep, internal pain that you're experiencing. I pray for you, and I hope nothing but the best. But you can get that help when you're in jail. And so I think right now I just want to let you know that I don't hate you. I forgive you. And here's the craziest part. She didn't admit to any of it. Like, while she was being sentenced, she acted like none of it was her fault and none of this happened. She took some kind of test and like tested out like being a sociopath. I can't remember what the prosecutor told me, but it was some crazy thing where she took zero responsibility for killing my dad. And I looked at her and I said, hey, ma'am, I forgive you. I understand. She didn't ask for forgiveness, man. By the way, I'll let you guys know this. This is a whole nother video we're going to make. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is not for them. That girl who cheated on you, when you forgive her, she doesn't give a shit. She's in Biscayne Bay giving some rich dude a blowjob. She doesn't give a shit that you forgive her. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for her, okay? It's just like the wedding, right? The wedding is for your wife. It's not for you, right? The marriage is not for, the wedding is not for you. You don't care about that, right? The baby shower is not for you. It's for your wife. The forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. So I go through that and I just think about like how incredibly it really cascaded into other parts of my life when I really thought about, hey, how much it meant to me. Because when I forgave that woman, I just noticed there was like a likeness, but it wasn't just in that part of my life. At this point, I was a first lieutenant. So I had made first lieutenant, I made first lieutenant on the 14th of May, 2006. And so I was a first lieutenant for 5 days, and then my dad passed away. And I remember just thinking, like, when I got back to my unit, like how much less I gave a shit about like small trifling things. And it also changed my attitude when it came to like day-to-day things, including dating, where I came to this real, true realization. It's one thing to say this, but it's another thing to truly feel it. This true realization that tomorrow is not promised. Guys, here's the thing. My dad, when he died, I don't have any recordings of him. It's really sad. Like, I have no VHS tapes. I have no audio recording. I have tons of photos of him. But I really wish I could remember how he sounded. Like, I do remember in general. If you guys ever listen to Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, his voice is a doppelganger for my dad. He sounds just like my dad. My dad was from North Texas. Jerry Jones is from he's from Little Rock, Arkansas, and my dad and Jerry Jones are about 2 months apart in age. My dad is a little bit older than, no, Jerry Jones is 2 weeks younger. Jerry Jones was born in like the 17th of October. My dad was the 1st of October, 1942. So they're about the same age. So when I hear Jerry talk, it's really funny because I can hear my dad, right? And I am making this video right now, and I don't know how many kids or grandkids I'm gonna have, but I'm just like, it's kind of cool that if I get killed tomorrow, I'm flying to San Diego tomorrow. If I die in a plane crash or whatever, that like, there's gonna be a memory of me that will live on, and I'll be able to affect other people's lives even though I'm gone. And that makes me feel good, but it also doesn't make me like cling on to this mortal coil so much, if that makes any sense. Like, guys, you have to understand, this is another part of gratitude, is the recognition that you're gonna die, right? The present moment awareness comes from recognizing that, like, whoever you admire the most or whoever you hate the most, let's say you're out there and the person you admire the most is, maybe you admire a Barack Obama or Donald Trump, or maybe you admire Elon Musk or whoever, Cristiano Ronaldo. I just want you to know in 300 years, they'll be exactly as dead as you are. So like, what can you do now? If you care about leaving a legacy or leaving a mark, maybe that's something important, but I promise you when you're dead, you still won't care about that. What can you do now? And then how free can you feel? How free can you act? How free can you be? How true can you be to yourself and what you want to do? Coming to the realization that, yo, man, you have limited time on this earth. Do it sometime, man. Just calculate the average lifespan for a man in the United States is like 75, 76 years old. Calculate how many days you have left. Just put it into the perspective of number of days, number of hours that you probably have left. And I consider the fact that, my dad died. He was 16 years older than I am right now. So what if I only have 16 years left? What if I have 1 year left? What am I gonna do with that time? How am I gonna live it? Am I gonna sit there just worried, being neurotic? And by the way, I'm not saying, go out and do a bunch of cocaine and prostitutes and like act crazy. What I'm saying is, am I going to live in this neurosis for the rest of my life? Am I gonna live this neurotic nature forever, just feeling incredibly paranoid about everything? Or am I going to go out there and come to the recognition that, number one, I have gratitude for every single thing that I have. And by the way, any of you guys are watching this, you're watching a 4K video streamed live on YouTube. You probably could have watched this for free. It's coming at you at 186,282 miles a second, which is the speed of light, unless you're a flat earther, in which case you don't believe in that. You get all of this, there's all this knowledge, like the world's knowledge. You can get a free version of ChatGPT and just look up all the world's knowledge. You have access to broad spectrum antibiotics, which has saved billions of people's lives. You have access to medical care. Most of you can get 3 square meals if you need to. Like there's so many things that you have that your ancestors just 70 years ago didn't have. You need to have gratitude for that. And by the way, this is another controversial one. The lowest murder rate and the lowest rate of sexual assault in history. I know people will sit there and argue with me. No, it's true. This is the safest time in history. The fewest people right now are being killed in military conflicts. And they're like, no, man, I just saw something about Israel or Ukraine. If you don't know what you're talking about, you compare what's going on there with what happened during like the Battle of the Bulge or the advance on Normandy. This is nothing, bro. There's nowhere near the level of suffering and violence as there was even 70 years ago. So have gratitude for that. Have present moment awareness. Right now, I'll give you an example. Like a book that changed my life after my dad died was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which really helped me to understand that these people's opinions about me don't matter. The only moment is this moment. And when I came to that realization, when I was able to truly be present, one of the things that happened is I became a better speaker. And I noticed that women were just in general more attracted to me, they were more stimulated by me, they wanted to be around me more people wanted to network with me. Right now I'm having a conversation with you. I'm having a conversation with my Osmo while I'm walking around Dallas right now. And right now, there's nothing but me and you. There's nothing else. There's nothing else in this world. There's no cowboy game. There's no Longhorn game. There's no girlfriend. There's no bank account. There's no money. The only thing that matters to me right now in this moment is me putting one foot in front of the other and talking to you. This is my entire existence, is this present moment. And in the present moment, I have no problems. I have no issues. There is no past. There is no future. There's only now. It's something that I learned that was just an incredible burden that was lifted from me. So number one, gratitude. Number two, present moment awareness. And number three is the recognition that you're gonna die, like I recognized with my dad. So I know it's really hard to say this, and I don't want it to come off the wrong way, because I don't think it was a gift that Astrid Carlson killed my dad, but it was a gift that I was allowed to have the opportunity to forgive her. I hope you guys can understand that. I know it's gonna be hard for you. I know there's a lot of dudes out there who hate me. You hate my videos. You hate everything I stand for. I hope that even if you hate me, you can at least understand that point. Which leads me to my last thing. And the last thing that I'm actually grateful for, that if it hadn't happened, my life would be very different. And that is, I'm grateful for, shout out to all of you. Just wanna wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for all you haters out there. All you people out there that say that I'm a con artist, I'm a scammer, all you people who say that I pay women to come to my events. I heard a rumor the other day that apparently the reason why my clients hook up with so many girls is because I'm paying the girls. And I've said this a million times, you know, it's really funny. I'll give you, it was 50,000, I'll give you 100,000. I'll give you $100,000 if you can find a single girl I've ever paid to hang out with me, come to any of my events, anything. And you can message all of them. There's thousands, literally thousands of girls tagged in my IG. And the same thing with any of my clients. And of course, nobody takes me up on this. And then there's more stuff about, oh, well, your stuff doesn't work. So the pickup artists, they'll hate on me because they're like, oh, you don't do enough cold approach and show big energy intent. And then the feminists are like, I can't believe you're teaching men these manipulative tactics that are gonna get them, you have to manipulate women, blah, blah, blah. And then there's like the general public, like I don't know if you guys saw that CBS interview where I was actually teaching these men how to like walk with proper form and play basketball. And they're like making fun of these men for asking for help. It's really funny. It's like, on the one hand, society tells men you need to be more sensitive, vulnerable, and ask for more help. And on the other hand, when you start asking for help, they call you a tryhard and make fun of you. So I just want to say, to the haters out there, that I appreciate you. You're the reason why I've never made more money. You're the reason why I've never been in better shape. You're the reason why I'm dating the girl of my dreams, or the girls of my dreams. I'm not going to give you specifics. You're the reason why my success has skyrocketed recently. You are the reason, haters. I could not have done this without you, without all of the things that you said that got me motivated, that got me in the gym every day, that got me angry enough to get out here and make the video, that had me recognize how great my life is. I want you guys to remember something. Tell this to your friend, okay? Remember this. Hating is free. That's why broke people do it. Guys, if you ever want to do something really interesting, if you are lucky enough to sit at a table full of dudes that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, which I'm fortunate enough to, some of my charity events, we have sponsors that are coming. These guys are incredibly successful, and I'll go to dinner with them. And I love to ask this question, and it's always a joke when I ask it because I always know the answer. I was like, hey, how many of you guys at this table, and I'm talking about guys who own publicly traded companies. I have one friend of mine, he has a television show, guy's probably worth $500 million. You know, I'm friends with Bulgarian, like all these guys. I'll ask him, I was like, how many how many negative comments have you guys left on a YouTube video recently? And they'll look at me like legitimately, and they're like, yo, bro, I don't even post on my YouTube. Like, someone else does that. I don't even know how to leave a comment on YouTube. I was like, how many of you guys left a negative TikTok comment this week? And these guys, these mega successful guys, they're like, yo, how do you even do that? I don't even think I could log into my TikTok. Guys, I just want you to know, two things. Number one, for being a hater, for saying the things about me, you know, I'm 5'8", or by the way, the 5'8" thing, keep saying that. That one actually helps me. The fact that the fact that you guys don't believe I'm 6'1", it's actually really helpful, because what it does, and you guys probably don't realize this, is it makes people who are 5'8", who think that it's an excuse that they're too short, it actually makes me look more relevant, because why is he around all those girls if he's only 5'8"? So keep saying that. That one, I'm not hating on that one. Keep saying that one. But the other ones, it's like, you know, these other things about, you know, I wasn't actually in the military, or what was it? There was one that's the biggest straw man of all, which was the one that I said I was a pilot. So let me clarify this. There is not one single shred of video evidence anywhere where I said I was a pilot. I was a civilian pilot with a PPL, but I was never a military pilot. I was a instructor navigator in the military. I have never said anything. I've never said I was a fighter pilot. I've never said anything like that. And so people literally make up lies that I said, but those lies are actually lies and I never said them. And I just want to say, man, one of the things you guys have done is helped me to become more peaceful in the space of chaos. Whenever there's chaos around, I remember one of my favorite sayings is, you need to learn to find peace and joy in chaos. Because if you don't find peace and joy in chaos, you'll have no peace and no joy, but the exact same amount of chaos. And that's exactly what I've started to recognize. I will say this, the other thing that I'm really grateful for, there's this concept called fame versus influence. Fame versus influence. And I'll use this example. Brittany Renner, who's the girl who, she got pregnant by PJ Washington. She goes on all these shows, acts crazy, talks about women should have rich men get them pregnant, how to trap men. And then Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi is an incredible sales trainer, marketer. He's written some incredible books, $100 million offer, $100 million leads. Alex Hormozi and Brittany Renner are about the same level of famous. Like, they have a similar number of followers. But Alex Hormozi can fill up a room full of people, actually change their lives, get them to change their habits. Brittany Renner just looks like a fool. Brittany Renner is just somebody out there. Brittany Renner, like if Kim Kardashian tried to sell a self-help course, very few people in comparison to the size of her audience would buy it. There's fame versus influence. I want to say it's incredible to me for the situation that I'm in right now, where I am constantly being demonetized or ratioed by these different platforms. TikTok hates me. I don't know, TikTok has removed my name as a search tool. You can't use a hashtag with my name anymore. They've gotten rid of it. I cannot believe, demonetized on YouTube, I finally got it back. All the times whenever I have a video go viral on Instagram, the next 10 videos get like 60 likes. Like, they're completely ratioed. With all of that, with the incredible level of ratioing that happens, because, and as I've told you this before, I'm red pill adjacent. I'm not really red pill, but because I'm adjacent to red pill, I get all of the negatives that happen to all the people that stagnate. And for those of you who think that I'm just making this up, please check out the video we made where the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, actually admits to funding a thing where they were actually sending traffic away from red pill and manosphere content creators towards people like Justin Baldoni. This is real. You can see the DHS logo on the script. It shows the budget and everything. Our federal government under Biden was literally taking content that was red pill adjacent and actually funneling traffic away from it. Even after all that, the fact that I just crossed 4,100 guys who've gone through the Men of Action program. The fact that I've been able to do that, even with all the ratioing and cancellation and all these podcasts, I'll tell you this, guys, right now. I'm not going to say who it is, but Jay Shetty in the last year had a guest come on, and he talked about his guest. I won't say who the guest is. He talked about me for a significant period of time, and Jay Shetty cut the whole thing out. He cut the whole thing out of the interview. I've had this happen a few times where people have talked about me on their interviews, and there's this gatekeeping where there's this certain group of people, they don't want to hear from me, they don't want to hear about me, and they sure as fuck don't want to debate me. And so I just want to say, even with all that, the fact that when we do immersion, it's packed. We're sold out. Whenever we do our social media boot camps, it's packed. It's sold out. The fact that whenever I sit there and I go on the Tuesday call, there's hundreds of guys on there. There's thousands of guys who watch it every week who are in our community. The fact that I get to be a part of this community and lead this community where guys will move, they'll join, they'll be in a place like Jacksonville or Wichita or Cheyenne or wherever, and a bunch of other guys in the program will huddle around them and help them start to build their social circle. The fact that I get to be part of this community, I can't imagine anything else. And that's why I want to go back to the first thing I said in this video. The thing I'm most grateful for today is that I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I don't care if I get locked up, go to jail. I don't care if I end up paraplegic. I don't care whatever it is. I don't care what happens to me. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I know that I am. I know, I had one of my clients, he's 24 years old, and he's like, hey man, I don't know what my life's purpose is. And I'm like, bro, you think I knew my life's purpose at 24 years old? You need to give up the need to know. There's nothing wrong with not knowing your life purpose at 24. I'm 48. I know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. And even if I'm wrong, it still feels good right now. So guys, I want you to be grateful for the family that you do have and the family that you might get in the future. I want you to be grateful this. Oh, one other thing I want you to be grateful for. There's a community of men out there. If it's Men of Action or some other group, there's a community of men out there that do want to see you succeed. I know that for some of you guys, you may feel like the world has left you behind. I know that for men who are over the age of 40 who've been divorced, the likelihood of you taking your own life is 8 times the national average. I know that if you go into a morgue and you see people that have taken their own lives, 4 out of 5 of them are men. I know that the mental health crisis and the homeless crisis, the opioid crisis we have in this country is a male opioid crisis, a male mental health crisis, and a male homelessness crisis. Unemployment affects men more. Violent crime, the victims are usually men. Sorry, I know some people here, they don't like to hear that, but it's true. For you guys, any of you guys who are out there who feel like nobody's listening, nobody's paying attention to you, you feel ignored, I just want to let you know that it's not just me. There are a group of us out there that are looking out for you. And it was very important because I want to make this distinction. We're not here to blame women or blame anyone else. It's nobody's fault. This is Charles Darwin. It's just a function of evolution. But how do we move forward? What's the inspirational, aspirational idea that we can have in the future to do better, to be able to date the woman we want, get the job we want, get the fulfilling career that we want, have the peace of mind we want, have the mental stability we want, have the family we want? How can we do that? And the thing is, we got to work smarter, not harder. And if we work together and actually look at things that work versus bro science, some 19-year-old TikToker who keeps talking about men are trash, or listening to Justin Baldoni, Chris GQ Perry, Will Hitchens, or Derek Jackson, or any of these like women panderers, like instead of doing that, we can actually look at settled science. We can actually look at conclusive science that tells us which are the things that help us and work better. And by the way, in the future, there's 2 Ivy League researchers that have joined the Men of Action team, and they're going to be giving me studies that I'm going to be using to make videos in the future. We're going to make a video dealing with self-deprecating humor. It actually helps people who are higher status. We're going to talk about how does mate choice copying and pre-selection, how does that affect women with low body counts versus high body counts? Spoiler alert, it actually affects women with lower body counts actually like you more. We're going to talk about whether or not mate choice copying affects women who are younger or older. We have a bunch of studies like that are coming up, and I'm just so grateful. I had a job in finance for a while, and I've been coaching for 18 years, but I've only had MOA for 6, which means for 12 years I did this for free. I have a job that I would probably do for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing I'm so grateful for. And I hope the same thing can happen for you. And it can. It truly can, if you are willing to put in the work, to put in the effort, and to not feel sorry for yourself. So 2 things I want to tell you. Number 1, no one's coming to save you. You guys understand that. No one is coming to save you. The reason why you're poor is your fault. The reason why you are not with the girl of your dreams is your fault. I know Clavicular is going around talking about looks maxing and all this kind of stuff. I think it's cute that he's saying that. Good for him. He's got his shtick. I hope that works out for him. You and I, all of us have seen guys who are not that good looking who get hot girls. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, just go to moamentoring.com/testimonials and see all of my ugly and short clients that are crushing it with women. Listen. If you're having some issues with this, I just want you to know, be grateful for the fact that you live in a world where all that help is available for you. This information, like Justin Waller has a great saying. He goes, be gentle and be understanding and be kind with your father, because your father didn't have the information that you had. And it's true. My dad did not understand anything about divorce rates, prenups, hypergamy. He didn't understand anything about assortative mating. There was no social media. He didn't have the ability to tell me these things. But I have gratitude for the fact that you can go out and find those things now. Now, hopefully, for those of you who've been watching this channel for a while, hopefully I have earned enough of your trust to where you come to the realization that I don't make comments because people want to hear it. So one of the reasons why, like a lot of other people go mega viral, is because they're saying things that you want to hear. They're saying things people want to hear. If you guys have been watching my content for a while, you understand that almost every one of you, if you watch it long enough, there's things that I say that you're going to disagree strongly with. And the reason why, the one thing I hope you can trust me on, is that I'm not going to say things because people want to hear them. I could come out here and make a video bashing women and get a ton of views. Instead, I'm out here making a video telling you to be thankful for the things in your life. I'm not telling you what you want to hear, but I am going to tell you the truth. And I'm thankful for all of you guys for watching all these years. I think I started my YouTube channel in 2013. Thank you guys for people who've been watching all these years. Listen, man, don't compare yourself to other people. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you, just show up. Guys, you know that if you get 1,000 downloads a week, which is not that much on Spotify, like you're a podcast, 1,000 downloads a week, you're in the top 5% of podcasters in the world. Did you know to get in the top 1% of YouTube, you just have to get 300,000 views a month? That's not that much. Why is that? It's because most people, they don't show up. They do 10 episodes of their podcast and they give up. If you guys want to become brand builders, if you guys want to start your own show, your own panel show, man on the street videos, whatever, don't judge anything you're doing until you've been doing it hardcore for at least 2 years. Don't expect any, especially on YouTube. YouTube is the hardest platform to grow on. Don't expect any returns until you've been doing it for 2 years. So one more time, man, I just want to say, shout out to all the haters. I just want to remind you guys about the story about Joy, that gorgeous girl who rejected me, right? Who ended up dating the DJ who was an ass. The story about me going to survival school and realizing that any kind of physical ailment I have is something that I can overcome. The story about Astrid Carlson killing my father in the drunk driving accident, and gratitude for all the haters. Like I said, man, hating is free. That's why poor people do it. Thank you guys. Go Cowboys. Go Longhorns. Please subscribe. And if this video had any kind of effect on you, please, let other people know about it, man. I really, really hope that you guys can come join us. Oh, one other thing, the haters. You guys said that my course was like $50,000. My course is $27. If you guys want to click the link in the bottom, you guys can join my $27 course. I'd love to meet you. I can't wait to see more of you guys. We got so many events coming up in the future. We got so many videos coming up, and I'll talk to you guys soon.